Yo, Big Daddy Blink coming at you from Abu Dhabi for the Formula One season finale where America's team can win the championship. It's my man, the Danish Dynamo K-Mag versus the Dutch douche Max Verstappen. Now we're joined in the pit lane by the Haas team boss Aussie F1, and like straight up, bro, can K-Mag do this? Yeah, well, I mean, he can. He can. He's got every chance. He's 12 points behind Max, but if he can keep it on the road, then he's every chance. He's every chance. And of course, Logan will probably have a part to play as well, most likely as a ramrod. Hi guys, I'm Aussie Villain, and welcome back to the Season 3 finale of Kicking Haas. It is the final race of the season. It is Abu Dhabi, and K-Mag is 11 points behind Verstappen in the Drivers' Championship. The Constructors is not completely done for us for third as well. Mercedes are 35 points behind us. Now, we have the more wins, so they'll need to get 36 points. So as long as we don't have a complete disaster, it should be okay, because I think the maximum points is 40-odd, 44 points, I think, or thereabouts is the maximum. So as long as we're getting sort of 10, 12 points, then that'll be fine. And K-Mag needs at least that anyway, because Verstappen has the more wins on him, so we need to outscore him by 12 points, assuming that the head-to-head is the same as real life, which I imagine it would be. Why wouldn't it? Then, yeah, we need to outscore him by 12 points anyway, so we need at least 12 points to be able for K-Mag to win the Drivers. So it's either going to go very wrong, if K-Mag is in contention for the championship at the end of the race, the Constructors will just take care of itself. So it is very, very nervy times here. Let's go and have a quick look at the car, because there's nothing really to update you on apart from some research onto next year's car. You can see there we're researching suspension, front, rear wing and underfloor, and we've already completed some front wing for next year's car as well. So next year's going to be a struggle. We know that. We've not put much effort into it, but it is what it is. We want to win the Drivers' Championship this year. Now, Sargeant does have a development point. We'll go and stick that into... what do we put that into? Let's maybe go into... I mean, he's just... All right, well, we'll go with adaptability for now. I mean, that's wet weather conditions. Maybe we don't need to worry so much about that. All right, let's maybe stick it into defending. I don't know what to do with Sargeant. He's so bad in so many areas. Of course, it is K-Mag's last race for the team as well, which is sad. Now, I'm going to release him pretty much straight away, because I want him to be able to get a seat somewhere else for next season. And then Crawford will be taking over his car too, his race seat for next season. So once K-Mag has been released, again, to give him the best chance of finding a seat somewhere else for next season, Crawford will come in, and then I think we'll probably go back to Kalen Frederick, who we had as our reserve before Crawford came in. So that is that. Also, our last race for our head of aero, Aaron Melvin, it's not completely guaranteed that he will leave, but I'm assuming we'll be able to get somebody better. We've scouted a couple of guys that are better, so we will probably look to do that as well. So he served us fairly well, but we do need to upgrade where we can. Now, let's have a quick look at this race. The circuit info. We can see there Max Verstappen holds the lap record, so let's hope that he doesn't live up to that form. For qualifying purposes, red is Sector 1, green is Sector 2, and yellow is Sector 3. We've got the sections by speed there. It's a little bit of everything on the track. Some traction zones, some high speed, some medium speed corners, and of course the two long straights as well. So we need top speed, which we don't really have. We are good low and medium speed corners though, so yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that front, won't we? We are expecting a 25-second pit stop loss plus minus 11 seconds or so under a safety car. And historically, there is an 80% chance of a safety car, so it could well happen, hopefully in our favor. The race strategy, you can do a one-stop, medium to hard, or you can do a two-stop using each of the tires. It makes me wonder, could you do a soft, medium, medium? Probably not, it looks like, because the hard tire is doing a lot of work on those strategies. So yeah, it probably is not the tire to be on. The soft tire though, it does make a bit of a difference around here, half a second or so a lap. But look at the drop off, almost at what's that, almost a tenth and a half of a second a lap drop off. But then compare that to the medium tire. So again, the hard tire is not a bad race tire, because it's not It's half a second a lap slower, yes, but it drops off at a much less than half the rate. So yeah, it's gonna get better very quickly. Now, last season, K-Mag in 6th, which in itself would be okay, I think, but the problem is Verstappen won it last year, so we need to, at a minimum, finish obviously need to finish ahead of Verstappen. Sargeant just outside the points there in 11th last year. Historically, Verstappen has won 3 of the 4 races. Red Bull have never lost, so that doesn't bode well for us either, does it? Now, our performance targets here, let's have a quick look. Qualifying position of 8th. So we obviously will want a car in the Q2 and Q3. Fastest lap, go on, let's go and try for that as well. And finishing streak, we need a car in the top 10, and there is no qualifying streak, I would imagine, because... Oh, no, there is one. 1 of 1. I'm not quite sure. No, there isn't, I don't think, is there? No, it would be an option otherwise. So, yeah, we need to get a car into the top 10, and we'll get ourselves a little bit of cash for that as well. So... everything is done. I've made sure we've got enough spares, so we shouldn't have a repeat of Suzuka. And yeah, let's head off to Abu Dhabi. Alright, so there is no rain, as you would expect in the desert, so I'm going to do some free practice. I'll see you for qualifying. K-Mag will be in the car for FP1. We need to get him as up to speed as possible. And yeah, I hope your nerves are okay. Alright, so we have done free practice. It has been absolute chaos. Look at the penalties here. Verstappen again is taking penalties. If we go down, we will see that Sargeant is also taking a penalty. That is because he was just getting the practice in on rear-ending Verstappen. Gasly was the man that he chose to do it on. Absolutely to perfection. Took Gasly out of free practice, so that's a good sign. Yeah, obviously the grid drop isn't fantastic, and of course we've got really old engine parts in, so don't worry too much about where we are. FP2. You can see there again, if we scroll down, we'll find our cars. Sargeant, again, he hit the wall in this one, so he has been, he's lost privileges to the new front wing. He is now back to the original front wing, so that's going to really hamper, unfortunately, him, but we've got to make sure we don't have a repeat of Japan, and K-Mag has, well, if we go to FP3 here, he did it himself. Actually crashed out and had to retire the car. You can see there after 7 laps, so that's not ideal for him either, and that means he's eaten the front wing. So there are 2 of the new front wings left. There'll be 1 on K-Mag's car, and there'll be 1 for him to stuff up and put on a fresh one, and then we're out. I'm hoping we can emergency manufacture some, but I don't think we can unless we are actually out. So you can see there Sargeant on a soft tyre did the session. Yes, you know, we're struggling with engine, but that's a big gap, and I think it is down to the front wing, but we can't do it. We've got to give the front wings to K-Mag. So he does have a 3-place grid penalty, which is a little bit annoying. K-Mag's setup is ultimately untested. I think we go with it anyway, but it's not ideal. It's just not ideal. There's nothing about this that is ideal. We can see Sargeant's setup is 97%. If we revert back to... It's the same, isn't it, really? No, that was a little bit better for him. It was just that oversteer's a little bit off for him. But anyway, so we'll do that. We'll go back to that setup. We'll fix, make sure that we have car parts, put in the new ones. You can see, look at the gearbox. It was barely going at the end. So that might well be the reason that he is so far behind on that FP3 session. The gearbox was barely in one piece at that point. So, yeah, that is that. We'll go and fix up K-Mag's car as well. Parts missing, so his engine didn't quite make it. That's fine. That was part of the reason he retired. His gearbox as well, you can see, didn't make it. So yeah, we've just got to the end of the season here, haven't we? I think if there was another round, we'd almost certainly have to be looking at penalties again. But anyway, we've got where we've got to. Now, front wing, are we able to emergency we can emergency manufacture. All right, so this, how many can we emergency manufacture? Can I emergency manufacture 4? 2 million. Yeah, I want to do that. I want to do that. And that means that we can then stick Sargeant back onto the good wing as well. Front wing. And we can stick that back on, and we've got plenty to go again. Okay, so that should help Sargeant a little bit. So we're going to be okay, I imagine, for Q1. But yeah, it's not the sort of practice we would have wanted for such a big weekend. Alright, so indeed we were absolutely fine. Worryingly though, Verstappen was significantly quicker. We did send Sargeant out for a second run, and he was a little bit quicker than K-Mag, so that I think bodes well actually for K-Mag. It suggests that we were blocked on our first run. There were cars in front of us, but I wasn't sure if we did actually get blocked or not. Those missing out, we can see there, Schumacher, Stroll, Zoe, Alonso, perhaps surprisingly, and Albon. So on to Q2 we go. Alright, so we are riding on board with Kevin Magnussen. Sargeant is in front of us. Now, Magnussen got blocked, I'm almost positive, on his first run. Sargeant may have as well, to be honest. So ignore maybe the gaps. We are on new tyres for this run. First run, as ever, was used tyres. And, well, let's see exactly what we can do here. Magnussen is currently last, and he's not the slowest car of these ones, is he? So, I don't think there's any doubt that he did get blocked in that case. 2 green sectors for Sargeant, who's 11th and currently also out. We see if we can get both cars back in here. Sargeant is coming. He's just ahead of us on the track. He's now down to 12th. Everybody else has done their laps. Can Sargeant pop himself inside the top 10? Just. Magnussen does. Sargeant is out, though. So Logan Sargeant eliminated. Of the 2, we'd rather it be him, to be honest. But yeah, a little bit disappointing he wasn't able to get ahead of even just the McLarens. You know, we need him kind of more in the fight with Verstappen, but we don't know how many penalties Verstappen is taking as well. So anyway, K-Mag's through. Let's see how he does in Q3. Alright, so K-Mag currently P8, did his run on used tyres as ever, just trying to save some for the race if we have safety cars, which is a good chance we will do. And he is currently 6/10 off. Now, he should be able to get ahead of Hamilton in the Williams, surely. There's a bit of a gap, though, isn't there? Verstappen looks quick, worryingly quick. Let's see, are we going to be kept in a mystery here as to how K-Mag is doing? We don't know what his first sector time was, which is annoying. We are last car on track. Cars are going to start coming across now. So he's done a green middle sector. Now, of course, there are going to be penalties taken from those in front of us as well, which will move us up the grid. But the further we can go up by ourselves, obviously, just means that when penalties are applied, we'll go that much further up again. Here we go. Where can K-Mag stick it on the grid? He goes 5th. All right, we'll take that. So with 2 cars in front taking penalties, it will be Mercedes, and then K-Mag 3rd on the grid. And then we'll see where Sargeant sort of sits himself here. But what a lap from K-Mag there to get ahead of Charles Leclerc as well. Massive stuff. All right, strategy. What can we do here? Okay, now okay, so a 2-stop works, and you can push on it. A 1-stop, it doesn't really work. You'd need safety cars, and then you're going to be sitting out on dead tyres, aren't you? So I wonder if with Logan Sargeant, medium... The problem we've run into in the past with putting a soft on is if you get a badly timed safety car, it can really hurt you, can't it? But equally, we should have an extra set of soft tyres that if there's a safety car at a better time, could this be a soft tyre run? Now, we know that the soft tyre degrades quite a bit, but if we extend the hard tyre run, which we know is not a bad tyre, that might work, mightn't it? And then we've got sort of a safety car window where if we get a safety car at a time, we can then put on the medium tyre, and that works for us. We should be able to push at the end on the soft tyre as well. I'm increasingly liking this, and I might even like this for K-Mag as well, you know. Now, where was Sargeant starting? So 9th and 3rd. So that's promising as well, isn't it? There's a lot to like about, I think, doing the strategy we did with Sargeant, because like I say, we have the option of 2 runs on a soft tyre, which is quick. It does degrade quickly, but it is still quick. And then if a safety car comes, we've got a medium tyre we can play with as well, that isn't currently in the strategy. So I mean, yeah, like I say, I increasingly think I like that strategy. And this is the benefit to saving soft tyres in qualifying, of course, is that we can do this. So we'd start on new, we've got another new set, yep, that's fine, we've got a new medium and a new hard, so that all works, and for K-Mag it should be the same, 2 new softs, medium and a hard, yeah. So that works, I think, doesn't it? Alright, this is it, K-Mag's final race. We need to finish 12 points ahead of Verstappen. We don't know where he's starting on the grid, but we'll find out momentarily. Okay, welcome back, here we go. All Mercedes front row. Now there is, it's 15 points for 3rd, I think it's 12 points for 4th. So to give you an idea, we do basically need Kevin Magnussen to finish inside or on the podium. And then Verstappen, who is currently 8th and battling with Sargeant, we need him to finish 15 points, so he can only get 9th or 10th. So we see here K-Mag having a look at the Mercs, and he's going to get up the inside of Bottas. And let's see if he can go now and get George Russell as well on a medium tyre. Up the inside, he has just about done that. Of course, we are deploying as well. So K-Mag, at the end of lap 1, is he going to lead? He should do, because we've got 2 left-handers coming up there. And that should be George Russell put away. So K-Mag leads. Now, what can Sargeant do about Max Verstappen? And what tyres is everybody on? A lot of soft runners there, which is the two-stop strategy, isn't it? But we're expecting them to then go to a medium tyre later on. And you can see here that they're all on used, for the most part anyway, on used soft tyres as well, whereas we are very much on nice, fresh, soft tyres. So it gives us a little bit of an advantage on that front as well. So if K-Mag can keep it on the road, which he's not been able to do recently, and I do wonder how much of that is pressure, then he's looking very good here. As things stand, he would win the championship. Oh, he's locked up. I was just... K-Mag. He's going to go to the back. Oh, Magnussen. He's been watching Sargeant's... He's looking at his data too much. He's last. He's last. Alright, so we have Logan Sargeant currently in... where is he here? In 8th. He is behind Verstappen, or certainly in the conversation with Verstappen, in a little bit of a train... that is an Ocon train right now. Magnussen is coming back through. He's caught up. We've been trying to get him to overtake. He's stuck in a bit of a DRS train, which isn't helping him right now. But he's going to need a well-timed safety car to get himself back into this. And it really is a championship that's got away from him, isn't it? I mean, we think back to Miami, where he was looking very good for a 1-2 that day. And then Sargeant, of course, took them both out. You know, so that would have put him in front of the championship. I mean, just go back to last race when he stuck it in the war. He was looking good in Japan, and then partly my fault telling him to push too much. Then we didn't have a new front wing. You know, there's been so many things that have just been own goals by the team, not necessarily always K-Mag, but just team-owned goals. That, yeah, multiple cars have crashed. Sargeant is not one of them. Alright, so that's unusual. Now, what is going to happen here? Are we going to get a safety car?
It's a collision!
It's a collision involving multiple cars. Are we going to get to see it here?
Let's take a closer look.
Let's see what has happened. It is, it's not a Verstappen, so that doesn't really matter too much to us. And it's not a major incident either. Okay, so pit stops are beginning. We're pitting this lap with Sargeant. I'm inclined to extend a little bit here with K-Mag, actually. Yeah, because he might get himself a little bit of free air. Sargeant is on a deploy lap because he was in, as I said, the train behind Ocon. So is he going to get over past here? It looks like he might be about to go past Perez. DRS and ERS assisted. So yeah, what we're basically trying to do is get a bit of an overcut here potentially. Whether that's going to work out or not, if we can get him ahead of Verstappen, at least that gives us some options. K-Mag up to 12th though, but like I say, that is very much assisted by pit stops. Let's try him on a harvest lap as Sargeant comes into the pits, and let's see what he can do now. It's onto the hard tyre. He has to wait for Perez. But where do we come out in relation to Verstappen? He's already ahead of us, is he? And there it is there. We're actually stuck behind Ocon. So let's see if we can get this move done nice and quickly here. Can we get it done on Esteban? Esteban, we're going to be stuck in a DRS train again there. Alright, so let's put that down to one side here. I'm wondering, K-Mag, do we stop this lap? Are we going to have harvested enough to do a push lap? I think we might have. So let's stop him this lap onto the hard tyre. And then when he comes out, hopefully in free air, which is the plan, then he'll be able to do a sort of a deploy lap. And hopefully move himself up the order here a little bit. But I mean, at this point in the race, the championship is gone, isn't it? And it's gone because, again, K-Mag has not been able to stay on the track. And it's just very, very, very frustrating. Can we get out ahead of Guan Yu Zhou is going to be the key. We are. Yes, we are. Okay, so let's go on a deploy lap here. Let's try. And we've got to get some moves done. If we have to go into a medium tyre at the end, I think it's so be it. But we do need to get past these two Williams. They are on old medium tyres. I'm assuming that they're on a hard tyre, so they've already stopped. So K-Mag, I mean, he's dug himself a hole. He's made his bed. All those sorts of cliches. Now he needs to get himself out. And well, Verstappen is currently in 8th. Oh, competitor crash safety car! Just as K-Mag came around and avoided the pit lane. Alright. I think this is going to be a little bit too soon.
DRS is currently disabled.
Because... Alright, could we? Let's have a quick think this. Perez is out. Perez has crashed. Okay, so I think we basically have two options. We can stay on the hard tie-up if we want, which is what we're doing right now. Or what we could do with K-Mag is we could come in... no, we need to do this tie. We could come in, we could stick on the medium tie-up and then go on to the soft still. Now, if we go all the way back to the lap that we are currently on, get the soft tire back to there. So we could stop medium, hard, soft tires to the end and get a little bit more racy. Now, if we were to stop K-Mag now, let's update it momentarily because we can always go back, I think. If we were to stop now with K-Mag, where would he come out in the race? Bearing in mind that it's under safety car conditions, he would come out 19th. We're currently 11th. I don't necessarily think that is worth it, is it? So, time will tell if it's the right thing to do or not, but I think we're going to stay out. Okay, safety car is ending. Now, this has brought K-Mag, of course, back into the race. Verstappen is currently 5th with Sargeant behind him, so maybe Sargeant can just take care of that for us. We are on deploy with Magnussen. We need to try and just get up as many positions here as we can, and just kind of hope that that works out for us. Here we go. We've got Denny Rick in front of us to get back into the points. Doesn't look like anything there is going to happen, unfortunately. Can we get it done on the back straight, or the second part of the back straight? Just a little. I mean, it might be that everybody is deploying. My plan here with Sargeant is I just want to kind of try and stalk Verstappen where we can and just wait for the inevitable lockup that sends us into the back of him. So yeah, if we can save the ERS, then I think that is a benefit to us. And Sargeant does look quick. Let's be fair to him. He does look quick, and we know Magnussen is quick because he qualified well, and then he was in the lead, of course, when he stuffed up again. So there is pace in our cars. We just need to obviously stay on the track to make sure that we're using it. So we'll go back to neutral here because it's clearly, I think, maybe a lot of cars here are DRS. ERS and DRS. You think they could change it a little bit, wouldn't you? But anyway. Alright, so we have pit stops that are just beginning. This moves K-Mag to 5th, Sargeant to 4th. Now, these guys are going to be going onto a medium tyre, I imagine. Can we go and have a look? Verstappen will be the first one out of the pits. And he is... Can it tell us, please? He is indeed on a medium tyre. So we've still got a little bit of time here to go before we're going to stop onto our
is currently disabled.
Onto our soft tyre. But Sargeant 4th, Magnussen 5th. But of course they do owe us a stop. If we could not get stuck behind Sebastian Vettel, though, that would be useful. So we want to try and push as much as we can now. And it would be easier, of course, if we weren't stuck behind him. He's coming into the pit, so that's absolutely fine. Yeah, these are important laps now. We need to try and stay as close as we can, so that when we go and put on this soft tyre, it's all going to work out nicely for us. And if we could get a safety car sometime now, that would be good. Maybe we should go and tell Sargeant to push. See if he can push it into the wall. What's happened here? Yellow in Sector 2. And Sainz has spun, which is going to help a little bit bringing back to the group, but not too much. I can't remember if I told you, McLaren, what's going on here with old K-Mag? Do we need to stop him now onto a medium tyre, I wonder? He's going backwards, which isn't great. He's coming up towards his pit window, of course. He's into it now. But we want to try and hold off as much as possible. I wonder if he could stick with Denny Rick and we can try and harvest some ERS. We should have the pace of the McLaren, shouldn't we? Anyway, we'll try and do that, and we'll be back for our pit stops momentarily. Oh, Verstappen has crashed! Verstappen has crashed! What's he done? Has he damaged the car? What has he done? Max Verstappen. He has done a bit of a Sargeant. Has he hit the wall? Has he damaged the front wing? Maybe not. Maybe not. Can we go and see? We can't really see if there's any major damage there. If we watch the gap, we might get a sense of it. But no, it doesn't look like he has damaged the car. So a bit of a time loss there, but nothing more, which is obviously a little bit disappointing. But, well, it's better than him not crashing, isn't it? Maybe he's getting a little bit nervous here as well. Alright, so Kevin Magnussen into the pits for his soft tyre. He's going to come out probably just inside the top 10. I think we're expecting, no, he's going to drop out. But he is, as I say, going to have a soft tyre. 2.4 seconds stop. Go on the Haas boys. We'll go and bring Sargeant in this lap. And, yeah, well, we'll see what we can do. Let's go and look to overtake here. We need to try and get past Lance Stroll as quickly as possible. He's on a one-stop. And that is job done on that front. Next lap, I think we'll do a deploy lap. We'll try and get fastest lap in the bag as quickly as possible.
With an overtake there.
And Sargeant should just be about to come into the pits here. Here, indeed, he does come for his soft tyre. And he's going to fall behind Verstappen. He's probably going to come out, hopefully, in front of Hamilton. We do another 2.4 seconds, 2.6, so a little bit slower. And he's going to be roughly with Hamilton, or is he going to be behind? No, so he's a little bit behind as well. So, work to do here. Where's K-Mag? I've missed K-Mag starting the lap, so we'll do it next lap. Yeah, work to do. Verstappen in 5th. We really do need something, a safety car or something, don't we? Because this, as I said before, this title is slipping away from us. Alright, so K-Mag is about to... Yes, he has just set the fastest lap of the race, so that is good news. We are absolutely flying. Now, we've got a yellow flag. Is that going to be our safety car that we need? No. I mean, look at the 125.1. We're much, much quicker. I mean, that was a full deploy lap. But I mean, look at even Sargeant at 26.3 is doing quite well. We need to get overtakes done here, though, now, don't we? We need to come through this field nice and quickly. And then we need to let K-Mag pass Sargeant to go on about his business as well. And if we can get a safety car in the meantime, then that would all be very good. Can we get 2 for 1 with Logan Sargeant up the inside of Hamilton? He does do it. Battery is empty, but job done on that front. He can now go and get himself a little bit of free air, and hopefully, he should be able to still stick with that. Low fuel range, you should be fine, mate. Don't worry about that. Just drive the car, please. And Hamilton's not giving it up, but he might as well have. And now we have Sargeant in 9th. If we can get K-Mag inside the points. I mean, we do still have to worry a little bit about Mercedes, although Bottas did have a bit of a spin or a crash. I forget which one it was now. And that has hurt him, of course. So he's a little bit further down the order. But can we go and get some moves done now? Come on, K-Mag. This is for your championship, mate. You need to get this done on Tsunoda, and he's not able to do it even with deploy. When it's come down to it at the end of the season, he's just not quite been good enough, old K-Mag, has he? And it's just so disappointing, really. But anyway, still a little bit to go in the race. There's still time for something to happen. We're the only cars on soft tyres, so if we can get a safety car, it could still happen for us. But we're quite a ways behind Verstappen, who's in 4th, and at this point, it is his to lose. Safety car! We have got a safety car, and there's not long to go in this one either. Well, we do not want to stop, that is for sure. We want to conserve these tyres, charge the batteries, and it's Sainz that is out. He hasn't happened to take Verstappen with him, has he? That would be a nice little bonus. So Verstappen actually goes up to 3rd. We'll have a quick look at exactly what has happened, and he's all by himself. And Carlos Sainz has just done a bit of a Logan Sargeant, has he, on hard tyres. So that's exactly what Sargeant did in free practice too, actually.
Logan, it's Aussie. Operation Ramrod is go.
Okay, here we go. We've got a one-lap dash for the title. We need something to happen to Verstappen. Something strange has got to happen here. But it's the last lap of the race. K-Mag is 10th. We're going full push. Everybody's giving everything, no doubt. And yeah, we've just got to see what we can do. Can we? I mean, what are we looking for the constructors with Mercedes as well? I guess we've got to have a think about. Driver locked up. Sargeant has hit the wrong car. He's hit Denny Rick. Magnussen will move up to 8th. Sargeant ends the season as he sort of started it in many ways. And is that going to be the race that should keep going? Because, you know, the cars aren't coming around again in racing conditions. Sargeant will have a penalty for next season, potentially. But, I mean, his race is over anyway. But Verstappen in 3rd. If we can get Tsunoda, here's at Vettel, then that's fantastic. But ultimately, it's got away from K-Mag. He ends his time at Haas, 8th in the Saudi, where are we? The Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and 2nd in the Drivers' Championship. But did we do enough to hang on to 3rd above Mercedes?
Thank you so much for that.
It's close. It's very, very close. So, K-Mag finishes with fastest lap, 9 points, and it might be the 9 points that keep us ahead of... oh, it's double points. I forgot it was double points. So I think we're rooted. Mercedes are going to get us for 3rd. And Magnussen's actually dropped down to 3rd in the drivers as well. Stupid double points. It's the most ridiculous thing on the planet, and we're going to be 4th. We've lost out massively in the end because of double points. Well, there we go. That's a bit of a disappointing way to end everything, isn't it? But, well, we say goodbye to K-Mag. Ultimately, like I say, it was his to lose and he lost it. So, I'm a little bit frustrated. I feel like we gave him the car for the most part. I gave him, the strategy to do well. Obviously, there was some in there where I mucked things up, but that's to be expected, especially from me. But, yeah, well, there we go. It ends all a little bit anticlimactically, unfortunately. But, guys, if you've enjoyed the season, make sure you hit thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Next season, we do have our All-American driver lineup. It's not going to be pretty, I don't think. But, yeah, there we go. K-Mag finishes 8th and, in the end, 3rd in the Drivers' Championship. Until then, guys, take care.